Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you my top 12 spring perfumes. These are the perfumes that will get you noticed. Originally, I was going to make this like my top 10 favorites for spring, but then I'm like, who am I kidding? I don't have that kind of self-control. So now it's top 12. I try to include like all kinds like florals and sweet and all of that because I know that not everybody loves florals. I'm one of them. And I also try to kind of give a little range between like the more affordable perfumes and then also some of the more luxurious perfumes. So I feel like I got a nice little variety going on. So if you want to see what perfumes I picked out for spring 2021, then just keep on watching. Okay, so the first perfume is actually a perfume that I have never talked about in my channel. This is actually not my personal perfume, but I like to steal it from my mom because it smells amazing. So we're starting off pretty high with a very luxurious perfume, and that is no other than the house of Louis Vuitton. This is Jour Celebe. Let me go to Google and see the pronunciation of that, of what I just said, because I'm very sure that's not right. Translation of Jour Celebe is the day begins, which is honestly so spot on because this smells like a fresh spring morning.
Le jour se lève.
Le jour se lève.
Le jour se lève.
What she said. Tell me why this perfume kind of reminds me of this guy. This is the Moschino Love is Love. It's definitely like a super high-end version of that. But if we're talking about like what kind of vibes it gives me, similarities, I would say that's most similar to what this smells like. Most people know what that perfume smells like. And if you know what that perfume smells like, then you know what Dolce Gabbana Light Blue smells like, because that's like the #1 perfume that is like a dupe of. This smells so good and it has some really beautiful notes in there. I decided in this video that I'm not going to really go too in depth with notes because on pretty much all of these perfumes, except for this one, I have videos on all of them where I go in depth and talk about all the notes and how they smell like. So I'm gonna kind of do like brief descriptions in this video. And if you want to see more detail, you can watch my other videos. But I will tell you the notes of this just because I've never told you the notes. I've actually never included this perfume in a video. This has top notes of orange, mandarin orange, grapefruit, blackcurrant, and then bergamot. So pretty much it has a lot of citrus in there. And then it has middle notes of lily of the valley, jasmine sambac, green notes, osmanthus, magnolia, peony, and rose, with base notes of ISOE super, white musk, vanillin, and vanilla. This perfume contains ISO super, which is a pretty cool note. It's a synthetic note. It's kind of similar to like Ambroxan, which is also like a synthetic version. It's kind of like a dry synthetic wood like scent, kind of like ambery in a way. It's like a very toned down version of patchouli, light and airy, sort of natural wood like. And I feel like that's what's giving this the uniqueness and kind of setting it apart from like your typical light blue, not only setting it apart, but also kind of just making it smell a lot more luxurious and beautiful. A very popular perfume that also has ISOE super is Eccentric Molecules Molecule 01, which is a very famous perfume. It's a really cool perfume. It basically like smells different on like everybody. It has basically like some sort of molecules in it that just react differently with like everyone's natural smells. So that's a really cool perfume that I want to get my hands on eventually, but this also has that. Some people say that it reminds them of Coco Mademoiselle. I would have to disagree. I don't smell Mademoiselle at all in this fragrance. What I smell mostly is light blue, which is weird because that's not even mentioned. But just kind of like a general description of this. It's a very citrusy kind of scent, very light, very fresh spring morning, like that kind of like morning dew. It kind of smells like rose, but no rose that I have ever smelled in a perfume. Like it's not the sort of like old, very like synthetic sort of rose that smells like your grandma's like 90-year-old wardrobe that she has her coats in. This smells like as if you literally picked a rose and it just freshly rained and there's like water droplets in the rose and you smell it and it's like so fresh, just a freshly picked flower. It's a very fresh, calming sort of scent and it's a really pretty scent. If you wear this, you will definitely get noticed. This perfume has great projection, it has great longevity. It's all in all just amazing performance-wise, which I don't expect anything less from Louis Vuitton because it's about the cost of my left kidney. So yeah, that's the first perfume. Okay, so the next one is for the spring nights. You know, if you get a nice little date night, this is Gucci Guilty. This is such a beautiful, sexy perfume.
A few moments later.
I would say it's more sweet than it is floral, but it's sweet in a very fresh way, not like a vanilla heavy, like that sort of scent. It's not like that at all. It's probably, honestly, out of my entire collection, one of the sexiest perfumes that I own. I cannot stop smelling this. I've gotten a million compliments wearing this. I would definitely categorize this more of a nighttime scent because every time I smell it, I just think of like a nice date night. It's just so sensual and beautiful. It's another perfume that has black currant in it, which is another reason why I think I'm like head over heels for this perfume. Has a couple citrus notes in there, has lilac, has peach, strong but not too strong, has great projection and great longevity. It's a very like provocative perfume, something that you just like once you smell you're like, okay, I get what you're talking about. Now I just hit my elbow. Some haters have said that this perfume in the opening smells like baby powder. I would have to disagree, but also agree. I don't think it smells like baby powder. It smells like sexy baby powder, if anything. I think maybe what is giving it like that baby powder sort of scent is probably like that lilac. That's my dog. Okay, they just dropped all of my perfumes on the floor. And it is another scent that has patchouli in it. Some people say that this smells strongly of patchouli. I honestly disagree. I think this smells so like light and fresh. The lilac is probably like the star of this perfume and why it's so like toned down, because I feel like if that note was not in it, it would not be as like memorable and sexy and beautiful as it is. This is definitely a perfume that you pair with like a bright red lip, and that perfume is like guaranteed to be a compliment magnet. Like you will be receiving compliments left and right. It's great for all year round. It doesn't have to just be in the spring, but I feel like because it has that sort of like florally, airy, kind of still fresh vibe, that's why I really wanted to include it in this video. I just read somebody's description on Fragrantica and I could not have said this better myself, so I'm just gonna read this. So I'm just gonna say it over the mic right here because wow. So Mia says this perfume smells like a hot model who is smoking a cigarette after having bathroom sex in a Miami club after downing expensive booze. End quote. It's sexy but in a trashy way, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like, I don't know, you take that as you will. On the complete opposite end of that, this is a sexy perfume in such a classy, beautiful, like she's classy. She has an apartment in Paris and she is just living her life. That is J'adore by Dior. So this perfume has melon in it and I feel like that is like the top thing that I can smell. It's like a honey melon sort of perfume with some florals. It's a really sort of like creamy, soft, like maybe a little bit soapy. Also, if I'm like squinting like this entire video, this light is so bright, but if it wasn't for that, this would be my video. So we gotta thank the light. But I'm like, this is a very pleasant scent. It's a crowd pleaser for sure. Like, one word to describe it is just beautiful. It reminds me of my mom. Do you guys see how much is used up in this perfume? Yeah, that's how much she has used up because she came into my room and took it and now she uses it like every day. I think it just smells very like luxurious and like I said, like a Parisian woman. So if you want to smell very feminine and classy, this perfume is beautiful and men really enjoy this one. It smells kind of vintage, like it has kind of like vintage vibes. I think it's like a jeans and a white t-shirt on like a beautiful spring day sort of look. It's just effortless and definitely a signature scent for spring. It's like spring in a bottle. Speaking of spring in a bottle, this next pick could not be more spring in a bottle than it is because it's literally spring in a bottle. Like if you could put the whole spring season in a bottle, it would be this right here. This is Tocca Florence. I hauled this in my previous video. This is probably the most floral perfume that I have in my entire collection. Straight up smells like a field of flowers. And normally I wouldn't love that, but somehow I'm obsessed with this perfume. It does have fruit in it. It has some pear and apple, but it's mainly florals. It has gardenia, iris, violet. I feel like when you first spray it, it's kind of heavy, like it's super heavy. And when I first spray it, I almost don't like love it. But what I love is once it dries and kind of settles into my skin, like maybe after a minute after applying it, and I just smell my skin and it smells so good. And it's one of those perfumes that just wears so much better with time. The longer you wear it, the more beautiful it gets. It kind of gets sweeter on your skin. It's a very like clean white floral scent with a little bit of musk. I said in my last video that I feel like this perfume literally smells like what you think the color green smells like. Just like vibrant and fresh and floral. I don't know, if I could describe the color green, that's what it would be. It definitely reminds me of like my childhood, like growing up and being at my grandma's house. There was like gardenias everywhere. It just like reminds me of, I don't know, growing up. And I'm a very nostalgic person, so any scent that can transform me back into my childhood, I keep that very, very close and dear to my heart. So this is one of those things for me. I feel like it's a very cozy scent, and this is definitely like a signature worthy scent for like, I'm gonna say this again, just like J'adore. It has the same vibe, like very like Paris vibes. I feel like I compare anything like elegant and feminine to Paris, but I'm just like, I can't wait to go there one day. I just love Paris. And I feel like that's what I embody Paris as, like such an elegant, beautiful, like just, I mean, language wise, it's the freaking city of love. And that perfume smells like love to me. It's definitely like a mood booster for sure. So if you need a nice pick-me-up on a nice spring day, that is so beautiful and effortless and elegant. And I know that I'm like explaining it pretty much the same way as I explained J'adore, but it is a lot stronger than J'adore. It has some insane projection. J'adore is a little bit more on like the down low, and this one is just like wants to be seen and heard and smelled. If you like honeysuckle, it doesn't have honeysuckle, but it somehow smells like honeysuckle. Normally I don't, but for some reason I love it in that, maybe mixed with like the fruit. I just think it's a beautiful scent, and it's definitely like you either love it or hate it kind of a scent, because it is a little too much. So if you don't love florals, it's definitely an acquired taste for sure, but it's just something you have to go and smell for yourself and kind of let it like sit on your skin. Don't judge it by like the first spray, because by the first spray you're like, oh my god, what bug spray did I spray on my skin right now? But you gotta just let it settle and let it mix with your, I was about to say your juices, and I'm gonna take back that statement so fast. Let it sit with like your skin smell and let it mix, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but you know where I'm going with this. Alright, the next scent is probably my most complimented perfume out of all of the perfumes that I'm gonna show you right now. It's probably like, I feel like the most unique out of all. It's something you don't smell every day, and everybody that smells it on me, everybody's always like, what are you wearing? Like somebody will be like close by to me and they're like, what is that smell? It smells so good. Like I've had so many people, like I'll walk by them and they'll like whisper it to like their friends or something, like, oh my god, did you smell that? That smells so good. But like nobody knows what it is, and that is Versace Crystal Noir. This perfume is so good. I explained it in a video, in the video that I first showed this perfume. I think it was like one of my very first perfume hauls, and I stand by what I said in that video, because every time I smell this, that's what I think of, and that is that it smells like what the steam of your shower smells like after you go and take a shower. Like, have you ever taken a shower? I'm sure you have. And you step out, you use some amazing body washes, they smell really good, you know, you're doing your thing. You step out and then you go back in to like brush your hair or something like that, and the smell of like steam and body wash, like when you go back in, it smells so good. That's what this perfume smells like. It's like a soapy body wash mixed with like steam. It's so sexy, it's so sensual, it's so dark. It's literally called Crystal Noir. You could wear this during the daytime as well, but I feel like predominantly this is such a beautiful nighttime scent. It has coconut, but in the most unique way ever. I promise you, you have never smelled coconut like you smell it in this, where you almost have to second guess if it even is coconut. Like I feel like in most perfumes or body sprays or anything that says that has coconut in it, okay, like you already kind of have this preconceived idea of what you think it will smell like, because coconut is just such a distinct smell, so it kind of smells the same in like all perfume. But when I smell this, I have to second guess. But that coconut is definitely the star of the show. It's definitely more on the sweet side. It has insane projection and insane longevity. This perfume stays on my skin, my clothes, my hair, everything for days. Like, I will smell this 3 days later. If you spray this on a jacket or something and you hang it up, you can come back to it like 3 months later and it will still smell like it. Like, that's just the experience that I've had with this. There's something about this that it just sticks onto everything. If you love coconut, you will love this, but I feel like even if you don't, there's something to be said about how unique the coconut is in this. So even if you don't like coconut, I recommend giving this a try. It's almost like a spicy coconut. I will say it is a little bit strong, so if you don't love like the stronger scents, like I said, it has insane projection and longevity, but that's for a reason. That's because when you spray it, it's like, whew, it's a lot happening to your senses. If you don't love a stronger perfume, then I don't recommend it too much. But if you like a perfume that has a little bit more character to it, it has a little bit more going on than like your usual typical perfume, then I recommend giving that a try, or at least smell it and see how you like it. To kind of summarize it, it's like a creamy, spicy, dark coconut scent that will definitely get you noticed. It's a definite head turner, so not something for the faint of heart, but in my opinion, I think it's intoxicating. Speaking of intoxicating, this is Lady Million. I included this in my last video, and there was no way I was not going to include this in this video because this is beautiful. Such a perfect spring perfume. When you spray it, it's such a fresh scent, but it dries down to a really sweet honey, vanilla, a little bit of patchouli, but not in a disgusting way. It has lemon in there, which gives it like that fresher vibe. It has gardenia. I feel like most of these perfumes I'm showing have gardenia in them. The honey and the citrus notes you really smell in the opening, but once this settles on your skin, it becomes a really beautiful sort of vanilla, amber, sensual, floral sort of scent, still with a little bit of that freshness, but I feel like you get most of that fresh when you first spray this, and then it kind of dies down, and it just kind of develops into something so beautiful, but still not too heavy for spring. I don't think this is heavy for spring at all. I actually bought it because I thought it was gonna be heavy. I was actually hoping it was. I was hoping this was gonna be like a super sweet, heavy vanilla, like heavy amber, but it's not like that at all. It has those notes, but it's complemented so beautifully by the florals. I think this is so intoxicating. Like, if you walk into a perfume store, that's what this smells like. I feel like the bottle really represents this fragrance well, because I feel like it smells like what it looks like. Like, what do you think that this would smell like? That's what it smells like. And if you have Olympia by Paco Rabanne, it has the same sort of vibe. So if you love that, I feel like you would love this. It has raspberry in there. It literally just smells like sunshine. Like a beautiful sunny spring day. I feel like it's like that perfect sort of transition between spring and summer. I feel like this next perfume is gonna kind of be controversial in this video, because normally when you think about spring perfumes, you probably think about something fresh, light, and airy. You don't think of something that is obnoxious, heavy, but I just had to include it because I'm a huge fan of this perfume, and I know that a lot of you are huge fans of this perfume because you've told me. I know that some people hate this. This is definitely one of the most polarizing perfumes ever. You either love it or hate it, and there's literally no in between. I think I'm gonna be wearing this so much during the spring and summer, and honestly all year round, but I just really wanted to include it in this video, and that is Alien by Thierry Mugler. This perfume has literally 3 notes: jasmine, woody notes, and amber. It's a beautiful, sensual, intoxicating perfume. Honestly, one of the sexiest perfumes that I own. The most like head-turning, like, wow, what is that sort of perfume? But I feel like it's so overwarmed now because so many people know about it that it's kind of lost that factor a little bit, but it's so beautiful nonetheless. I will say it's definitely strong. Could induce some headaches if you overdo it, or if you just don't like these kinds of scents. I wanted to include kind of like a strong perfume in this video for those brave-hearted people out there, because not everybody likes a fresh, light, springy perfume, and I wear my perfumes based off like the moods that I'm in. So some days I will feel like very calm and chill, and I want to wear something more on the low, like one of these, but then some days I'm having boss vibes, and on those days I wear this perfume. This smells like straight up jasmine and amber, which is like literally what it has in the notes. It reminds me of being in Greece. It reminds me of vacation. And on your skin, that jasmine just like transforms into like such a beautiful, hot, sexy, like head-turning scent. It is a predominantly like jasmine, like heavy jasmine scent. There's no other notes to balance this out. I feel like this is a scent that you maybe need to like try out first. I don't think that's a safe blind buy, especially for somebody that doesn't have an open nose. You gotta really be open to that scent, and I don't mean that to like scare you off. I feel like I'm making the perfume sound worse than I'm making it sound good. I promise you it's delicious. It's so good. I feel like it's like a top clubbing fragrance. If you're gonna go clubbing, you wear that perfume. It's like such a sex bomb that is like for sure to turn heads around you. It's definitely one of a kind, but also recognizable. If you smell it, you know that it's alien, because there's literally no perfume. Like a lot of perfumes, you'll smell it and you kind of have to second guess, like, is this, is this that? I mean, there's a million perfumes out there, but I feel like with alien, you smell it and you just know. There's literally 3 notes, so you would think like, okay, like what really sets this apart? But just the formulation of it is unlike any perfume you have ever smelled. It does have a little bit of an edge to it, but if you love this, you love it. It's people's signature scent for a reason. There's just a million ways that I can describe it. Everybody just needs to smell alien at least once. Even if you don't like it, you gotta at least smell it. And also like be open to it. My fiance really likes it, but he's also told me that it smells like a church. And I'm like, boy, what are you on? Like, why do you think it smells like a church? But then at the same time, I'm like, I kind of get it. I'm honestly just making it sound so bad. At this point, I've described it as like a million things. So you really don't know what it smells like. So now you have to go and smell it if you haven't smelled it. If you are a super fan of Alien now, let me know what your first impression on it was. Like, was it a love at first smell, or was it kind of like an acquired smell? For me, it was definitely sort of an acquired scent. And I feel like the reason why I love it so much at this point is because it brings me so much nostalgia, but also the older that I've gotten, the more sexy I find it. Like, I just find it so like sexy and grown up and just like a strong, confident woman. I feel like I've talked about Alien for like 3 hours now. I'll talk about it for hours and hours and hours, but also like not explain it at all. I just don't know how to explain it. I can only give you like vibes of like what it smells like, this and that, because as far as explaining the actual scent of it, there's just no way. Like, I can tell you it smells like jasmine, but there's a million perfumes that have jasmine in it that smell nothing like it. So it's just something you gotta smell. So the next spring scent would have to be Chanel Chance. This is Eau Fraiche. It's the green one. I don't know if you can tell that it's green right now because it looks pretty clear, but it does have a little hue of green in there. I also really, really love Chanel Chance Eau Tendre, the Eau de Parfum. It looks like that. It's the more pinky one, and that's a beautiful scent. I don't own it, but it's definitely on my list. That scent is so beautiful. It's more feminine, whereas this one is so fresh to the point where it almost smells like a man. If you're a girl that likes that sort of like cologne masculine sort of a scent, then you would really like this. This heavily leans on like the cologne side of things. We'll say though, as strong as it smells when you first spray it, it does kind of die down, and I don't think that it's super long wearing. It does kind of linger on your skin. If a scent is just like strictly fresh, I find personally that it just doesn't last as much as like a scent that has like sweeter notes in it. I just feel like it's not as long lasting, but maybe that's what they were trying to do. It's like a very fresh and airy scent that I feel like it's not supposed to be like super bam and in your face. It's just like very fresh. It has lemon in it. It's a very citrusy scent, like citrus on like another level. If you love light blue, kind of has the same vibe as that, but I feel like light blue already is a little bit like almost unisex. Like, it's not too feminine. This takes light blue to like a whole new level. I honestly think if you were to smell this without knowing that it was not a cologne, you probably would think it was a cologne. This is just fresh, clean, and lemony, like very, very zesty. Like, if you think light blue is zesty and citrusy, you gotta smell this, because this is zesty and citrusy like times 5,000. If it's like a super hot spring summer day, you put that on and it almost kind of like cools you down because it's that fresh. Like, there is not a single ounce of sweetness in that perfume. It's just like a very vibrant, bright, juicy sort of scent. If you like a really fresh scent that is almost a little kind of masculine smelling, that's the perfect scent for you, and it has great lasting power and amazing projection. So for those of you that kind of like a sweet scent no matter what season it is, I feel like this is perfect because it does have that floral kind of reminiscent spring vibe in it, but I would say this is most mostly sweet, and this has become one of my favorites. It's at like the top of my perfume list right now, and I can't stop putting it down. I talked about it in my previous video because I recently bought this for my birthday. This is Givenchy L'interdit. I have a struggle saying that name. This perfume, especially in like the opening, it smells like grape candy, it smells like bubble gum, but I feel like when you hear the word like grape candy or something grape flavor, you think of like that grape medicine, like weird grape vibe. It's not that at all. It's a really, really delicious, like bubblegummy, candy-like scent. It smells like a grape Jolly Rancher or something. It's a really warm scent, almost a little cozy, definitely sexy for sure. This is like a perfect, like rainy spring day where you're cozying up, but it's also very sexy, like daytime, nighttime, no matter what. Some people have said that this is kind of like a more powdery version of Dolce & Gabbana The Only One. I don't see that at all. I feel like Dolce & Gabbana The Only One smells a lot like black opium to me, and like they're both kind of like in that same vibe. I feel like this is so much more unique than both of those. I talked about this more in depth in my previous video, so if you want to see a more in-depth description about it, go watch that video. But this is more for the sweet lovers out there. It definitely has a lot of sweet in it. This is for like a candy lover, bubblegum, kind of like gummy bear, I don't know, grape Jolly Rancher lover. So this is Perfect by Marc Jacobs. It's actually Marc Jacobs' newest, I think is their newest release. I normally don't love Marc Jacobs scents just because I find them kind of boring. I feel like they literally all smell the same to me, but this is different. This smells like floral bananas. It has no banana listed in the notes, so I don't know why I smell bananas in this, but I'm very glad I smell bananas in this because I love a synthetic banana note. You guys gave me a recommendation for a banana perfume in my last video. I think it was called Sud Pacifique or something. I don't know, but I saw it in one of your comments, so I'm very intrigued and I really want to go and buy that perfume because I love me a banana scent. And I don't actually own any banana perfumes because I didn't really know that any existed. It smells so good. It's fresh but sweet and is delicious. This smells like a spring breeze. I feel like this is literally made for spring. It also has kind of like this creamy element in it. It has almond milk in there. It's subtle but sweet, but not in like a heavy sort of way, which is why I feel like it's perfect for spring. Okay, so the next perfume, this is a gorgeous spring scent. There was no way I was gonna do a spring perfume video and not include this. This is Dolce & Gabbana L'Imperatrice. I have literally never been able to say this name. This perfume, every single time I smell it, it smells like one thing and one thing only, and that is watermelon. It almost has like this water scent to it. Obviously it's watermelons. Watermelons are like mostly water, but it's such a fresh scent in the most fruity way. It's so fruity. It has some florals in it, but I honestly don't smell the florals in this much at all. I mostly smell the fruits like the watermelon, and it also has kiwi, which I do smell a little bit, but honestly mostly the first thing that I smell, especially when you first spray this, is just like straight up watermelon, and it's just so good and fresh and so refreshing. It's an effortless perfume. I feel like the theme with a lot of these perfumes is like they're so like effortless. It's not like you're trying to smell good. It's almost as if you like naturally smell this way, and that's what this kind of has you smelling like. It just literally smells like happiness in a bottle. It's so bright and fun. You feel so fresh and clean every single time you put this perfume on. It's just like a really light, juicy, aquatic watermelon scent. So if you're into all of that, then that is perfect, like such a perfect spring scent. So my last perfume, I wanted to include something that was super dark and super sensual and super sexy. That is Armani Code. This is a man magnet. You will get complimented by like all men that are around you. This is a very like citrus based perfumes. It has a lot of citrus notes, almost like a cinnamon note in it. Like this is like spicy Dolce & Gabbana light blue. The main notes that I smell is like a bitter orange mixed with like the ginger. It's like it kind of has that spice, but then that honey kind of gives it the sweetness. I definitely say like a date night scent for sure. It's a very like sensual, dark, like provocative sort of scent. So definitely a spring nighttime scent for sure, but it's such a good scent. I could not include that in this mix because I feel like that just completed it so well. And this perfume would definitely be in the same category as like Alien and Versace Crystal Noir. These were like the top three like very sensual, like overly sexy nighttime and darker scents, whereas the other ones I feel like were more sweet and bubbly. I mean, you can literally tell just by like the colors. All of them are like clear and they're very like juicy, bubbly sort of scents, whereas these three more of like the confident bosses of this group. Yeah, that concludes my springtime video. I can't wait to make my summer perfume video because I already know which perfumes I'm going to show, and I'm so excited because first of all, I love summer. It's my favorite season. Like, who doesn't? But I feel like the perfumes that I have picked out for summer are going to be amazing. But I hope you like this video. Let me know what video you want to see from me next. Please like and subscribe and turn on your post notifications, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!